Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel, Fertility, Hope, and Healing. My name is Dawn, and I have been practicing Chinese medicine for over 15 years, helping couples with pregnancy, trying to get pregnant. But this particular channel is for those who are trying to get pregnant or those who have issues with trying to get pregnant. And it's going to be all things pregnancy, labor and delivery. Is going to have a lot of different videos to share, but today we're going to talk about caffeine and is it safe during pregnancy and when trying to conceive. But the answer really is really how much, or the question should be how much is safe, when you're trying to conceive or get pregnant. So the reason why they say caffeine is not safe is because it is a drug and it affects the nervous system. And because it affects the nervous system, that means it stresses it out. So really, everybody knows that a great deal amount of caffeine is not good for your health, okay? So too much caffeine is not good for anyone. But for some, a moderate amount would be good. And meaning anyone who is just healthy in general, and these are the people that can drink coffee okay. Those who don't need energy, which most people I know drink coffee for energy, but or a lot of them do. And then those who don't have hypertension, those who don't have issues with insomnia or anxiety, or those who are trying to get pregnant or are pregnant. So a moderate amount of caffeine is okay for some. So this coffee recipe I'm going to share at the very end, so please stay tuned to the very end, is going to be good for anyone that has those conditions, okay? So share this if you know somebody who's dealing with insomnia or anxiety, hypertension, so on and so forth, even though this is labeled pregnancy coffee. It's a healthy coffee in general. So anyway, a mild amount, or minimum to mild to none, is what's really safe for those that are trying to conceive or through pregnancy. And the reason we know this, in 2008, there was a study that came out that showed that a moderate amount of caffeine, like 100 to 200 milligrams, and I think most of the people that they studied did about 200 milligrams, it increased your chances very highly of miscarriage up to 50%. So because of that, this is why it's not recommended. Now, doctors may say, oh, it's okay. And by the way, the information, I have a disclosure down in my description box. The information I share here is not for medical advice. It's just simply for your information. The truth is there's some people that get away with drinking coffee all their pregnancy and other people who don't. And the question I have to ask you is, would you feed your baby caffeine? Any amount of caffeine? And if the answer is no, that's how you kind of have to look at it all throughout pregnancy. Would you give this to your baby? And I have my patients, even before they when they're trying to get pregnant, I ask them to act like they're pregnant, and do those things that you need to stay away from while you're pregnant. Might as well get used to it now because you're going to be pregnant soon. So, but yeah, a very mild amount of caffeine is necessary when you're trying to get pregnant, or to none, okay? It's difficult to stay away from all of it, and I get that. It is a good idea if you're trying to get off of caffeine to do organic green tea or an organic tea in general. Tea has way less amounts of caffeine than coffee. Coffee typically, you can range, depending on how many cups you have, 100 to 200 milligrams. And then the caffeine that's in tea is 20 to 60 milligrams. It's very low in comparison. So that would be considered to be a minimal amount. But here's the thing, guys. It's really not about the caffeine that's just in coffee. Did you guys know that coffee is the most pesticide-laden plant in the entire world? I only found this out a few years ago. And the reason I only found this out was because it's not listed on the Dirty Dozen, because it's not related to food. It's coffee, It's a drink, a beverage. So yeah, it is the most pesticide-laden food. So not only are you getting the caffeine, it's the combination, that's a drug. The pesticides are like a drug too, and they're just very, very toxic. So please, please, please switch to organic. Anyone who can drink coffee, tell them about this, have them switch to organic. It's so much better for you. The other thing is, as I pointed out, those who need energy, if you're trying to conceive and you need energy, you need to reevaluate things, because at this point, you need to understand that once you get pregnant, especially the first and the last trimester, it just sucks your energy, okay? It's really, really hard on the body. And if you are drinking coffee for energy, you need to stop doing that, because what it's doing is it's causing like a hamster wheel to happen, and it's just overtaxing your adrenal glands really, really bad. And you really need healthy adrenal glands in order to get pregnant. So there are other options out there, and possibly you may need some fertility coaching. That's what I offer nationwide. And so there are ways we can look at your sleep to see if you're getting better restful sleep. You could say, I'm getting really good sleep at night, but what's draining your energy throughout the day? There could be certain foods, and usually it's your head, too much worry, overthinking, that drains your energy, stress. So then there are healthy ways to actually get energy. I would, try green tea, because that's at least a moderate or a really minimum amount of caffeine, but still it could be overtaxing to some. You really want to get off of all caffeine as much as possible and go more towards natural things, which this coffee I'm going to be sharing will be good for you guys too, okay? So having said all that, I am going to show you guys this amazing coffee that I have started making, and pretty excited about sharing it with you, and this recipe. And you don't have to use all these ingredients. You can mix and match, and so let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, let's get going to this coffee. I already have it made right here in my French press. Did this morning. And like I said, these products I'm showing you, they're interchangeable. The first one I wanted to show you is Chaga mushroom powder. Now, some of these people claim that you can use this alone and it tastes like coffee. I didn't think so, okay? But it has a really good taste to it. It makes a very good latte in and of itself. Now, when it comes to pregnancy, there's not a lot on the internet about this, whether or not it's safe for pregnancy, but if you can have mushrooms when you're pregnant, then most likely you'll be able to have this. If you're allergic to mushrooms, then don't do it. And again, if you're not uncomfortable, just interchange this out. But I really want to include this in this coffee, because for trying to conceive, this is really good for you. And it's also good for pregnancy because it helps your immune system. It also helps with cysts or tumors. So if you have any ovarian cysts, it will be helpful for that. I actually have created an amazing cyst formula that have helped a lot of women get rid of cysts. Yeah, it works really, really well. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me for fertility coaching or hormonal balance health coaching. But anyway, Chaga mushroom, a lot of the reason some people struggle getting pregnant is because of immune issues. There are even viruses out there that can attack an embryo. So working on your immune system is really important. Doing it daily is really, really important. The other thing that's been going on, I've heard of cases where, women, all of us have cancer cells, but not all of us they grow into tumors, okay? Our immune system typically is able to handle to fight it off. But what I've heard about Chaga mushroom, and this is just something I read, is that it kills cancer cells on contact. I got this on Amazon, by the way, if you guys are interested. And the thing I was thinking about was that, a lot of times if you get pregnant and you already have like something growing, the pregnancy hormone causes it to go crazy. So if you know anyone that's pregnant that is struggling with that, have them try some of this stuff, because you can take some things that will help you, because in particular you can't do much, medically speaking, to help with the cancer. The second ingredient, and again, like I said, if you're not comfortable doing the chaga, you can just use this, but this is dandelion blend. It's called Dandy Blend. So this is made from dandelions. So what I was reading about this for pregnancy is this is awesome to reduce swelling in the body. But what I know about dandelion is that it really is good for detoxification. Now, in particular, you don't want to detox when you are pregnant. Your body does it in and of itself, but in particular when it's still safe because it's very mild, okay? So when you're pregnant, this is safe. But in particular, prior to getting pregnant, you really want to focus on some detoxification. It's really, really good for you, okay? And so I just stick it in here in this container, and then that's why I have the empty packet still with me. It had some recipes on there I wanted to keep. And the third ingredient is organic decaf coffee. And the reason I include this is because these things claim to say that they taste like coffee, and they don't, okay? So just to have the flavor of coffee, I add 1 tablespoon. Again, you don't have to do this. This has a minimum amount of caffeine in it, just a little bit, but it's called No Fun Joe, and again, I get it on Amazon. All of these stuff I got on Amazon, those 3 things, okay? And so you wanna just do a tablespoon of this coffee, a teaspoon of the Chaga, and it comes with its own little scooper, and then I do a teaspoon of this, okay? And you want to stick it in and mix it together. And now what I'm gonna do is show you guys, because we're almost approaching fall, I'm gonna do a pumpkin spice latte that'll be really good for you guys. Okay, so I've already added the coffee into this container, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make a latte. If you guys don't know this trick, this will be life-changing for you. Totally life-changing. All right, so the spices I'm gonna add to it are turmeric. Now, turmeric powder's great for pregnancy even so, but taking like a turmeric supplement or circunium or whatever it's called. Sorry, I just didn't prepare to actually say that in this video. It's contraindicated during pregnancy, but doing it in food form, it's okay, all right? And by the way, all these spices that I'm gonna be showing you, they're all quite warming, so if you have a tendency to be really hot, that's the only thing I would say you probably wouldn't be good at doing this. Or if you're pregnant and your baby's moving around a lot, that's called restless fetus syndrome or restless baby syndrome. So you probably don't want to do this. You may have an aversion to it already. But the second ingredient would be cinnamon. And all these are organic. Make sure you do organic spices. They actually radiate spices, so it's important you do organic. And then the other thing is nutmeg. And all these are great for the immune system. I love cinnamon because it's great for your blood sugars. Nutmeg helps both with pain and also increases your immune system. And then ginger. Ginger is awesome, especially during your first trimester. And again, just don't use too much of this, but because it's really warming, almost hot as a spice. But it's awesome for nausea. It really works well for nausea. I've prescribed ginger several times in different forms to patients, and even like ginger ale sometimes works for them. But I really like ginger kefir water. It's lemon and ginger kefir water. It's really, really good. So I'm gonna add these spices to it. You're just gonna do as much as you want. I add a few dashes of this. I don't measure any of this. Some cinnamon, and then a little bit of the ginger and the nutmeg, and then I'll show you guys how you can make your own little latte. Oh, by the way, I want to add one more thing. You want to put some kind of milk in there. I would recommend doing almond milk because almond milk has a lot of calcium in there, and so that's really good if you're pregnant or if you're trying to get pregnant. Okay guys, so I just put this on the blender, and then you're just going to actually there you go, you have instant latte. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Look at the foam at the top of this, guys. It's amazing. So you take this off, pour this in your handy little cup. Let me show you guys what it looks like in here. Okay, that's not, there we go. There it is. And then you can just sprinkle a little bit of the seasoning on top of this, a little bit more cinnamon. And there you go, guy goes, oh. Yum, come on. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that coffee recipe. Oh, one more thing I want to mention is the importance of what sweetener you use. Okay, so if you're trying to conceive or are already pregnant, I don't know about pregnancy, but I know for trying to conceive, there's a question on stevia. Too much of it, I think, is not good for fertility. They've actually have studies that show about this. Those studies come from Canada. But the types of sweeteners that will be really good for you, if you don't want anything that's sweet or sugary, then I would do monk fruit. You can do raw honey. You can do coconut sugar that's very low on the glycemic index, or you can do maple syrup. Those would be really good options. And yeah, this is a really great coffee recipe. If you guys like this recipe, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you like subject matter like this, and share this video for those that, yeah, if they are wanting coffee alternatives, this is a really great healthy coffee alternative. If you want to make this bulletproof too, guys, you can add some coconut oil to it. So anyway, guys, love and blessings.